Dr. Ashwani Kumar, Senior Congress leader and also former Union Minister for Law and Justice in India. Dr. Ashwani Kumar, my first question to you, how would you respond to this situation? You think the Congress party, and this has been said on a number of occasions, that does Rahul Gandhi or the youngsters feel that this new party is being held back by the personal ambitions of certain veterans? That's the sense that one gets.
Sanket, my views are very well known on this. I have never been a person who pretends that in politics ambitions have no relevance. In fact, ambition is the single greatest stimulant in politics. I will not dispute the fact that those who are in politics have aspirations and legitimate aspirations. However, no one can afford to lose sight of the necessity to balance personal ambitions with the imperatives of the larger national objectives. Now, I don't want to pass a sweeping judgment upon the attempts of my colleagues to drive political advantage out of the situation as it prevails today in the party. But I do get an impression that most of what is being said is nothing but posturing or building up some kind of a pressure to wrest certain concessions which have individual consequences for people.
Okay.
Now, how it plays itself out, only time will tell. But the need to retain a degree of balance in the pursuit of one's personal ambitions is a sign of mature and sagacious leadership, and that is expected of senior leaders.
Okay. Now, Dr. Kumar, my next question is about, and we discussed this in the discussion also just a short while ago. If Rahul Gandhi is at the helm and if he's taking all the decisions, you think a better thing to do should be for him to take over completely and complete control? Otherwise, will this not be called backseat driving?
This is a subject that has been debated over and over, and this debate never ceases to end. But whether or not he wants to formally assume the charge of the office of the president of the Congress party, which he once held, is eventually for him to decide. And for some reason, and I presume, and I give him the benefit of doubt for that, that he must have his own reasons, which are so important to him and so powerful for him, that he, despite almost unanimous request within the party to take over, has so far not taken over the leadership of the party. But let me tell you, politics has a way of playing itself out. And like life, in politics, certain situations evolve. And I see that we are at the cusp of a situation, which is a fast evolving situation. And I presume that political realities will be responded to in a manner that is correct and necessary. The party needs to strengthen itself. It needs to shed ambiguities about various things. And we need to apply some correctives without doubt. But at the end of the day, you do have to put your faith in the judgment of the leadership. Mrs. Gandhi has led the Congress to two major victories. She continues to be the glue for the party. The Gandhi family has a historic role. Whether we like it or not, you can't take away that from them. So how she decides eventually in consultation with Mr. Rahul Gandhi is for the two of them to decide, really. As far as the party is concerned, party is waiting either for Mr. Rahul Gandhi to take over or for Mrs. Gandhi to announce the future of leadership.
Okay, Dr. Kumar, my final question. Trolling, throwing tomatoes at the residents of a dissident Congress voice. Is this, Dr. Kumar, a new streak which is acceptable within the party?
Well, personally speaking, I would never condone any uncivilized behavior towards anyone, leave aside a senior leader of the Congress party. I'm the last person to even indirectly condone hooliganism or violence as a part of protest. Having categorically stated my position, I do believe that if someone has a right of expression through the instrumentality of a press conference others have an equal right of expression of their sense of hurt by organizing a peaceful, civilized protest. This is my position, and I believe nobody can question this position for the simple reason that if within the parliament we make protests of a very vigorous nature, surely you can't take that right away from party workers who might feel agitated or hurt about some statement or about some conduct by some senior party leader.
Sure. Okay. Dr. Kumar, thank you very much. In the end, this statement by Dr. Manmohan Singh in an interview on Walk the Talk with Shekhar Gupta comes to mind. Of course, it was a different context, but these words are important. He says, "We are a democracy, but we are an indisciplined democracy. Crisis concentrates the mind like nothing else." Should this be applicable to the present day Congress? I think that is food for thought.